And here we are. Welcome to the Joyful Life Project, Michaela.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you participating. Totally unscripted, by the way. We were just talking about my dog maybe saying a hello while we're doing this, so hopefully he'll be reasonable. So Michaela, do you want to say a few words about who you are, what you do, something you feel like sharing?
Sure. I'm Michaela. I'm a transformative coach. I work with people who I help them to see their body as a vehicle for self-expression rather than, something that they want to use against themselves as a barrier to really enjoy their life and experience their life in a way that they would like to. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'm in Canada too, just like you. I'm in Alberta.
That's right. Where are you at again?
In Alberta.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I always forget that. Anyway, you ready?
I'm ready.
Question number one. I'm kind of excited. I'm always excited for these. So the first question is, what does living a joyful life mean to you?
Yeah. So good.
That's typically the response after that question. Take it away, Michaela.
Yeah. A joyful life. I've really learned this past year, and it was an observation from someone else. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm really all about the experience of anything, really. I love new experiences, to try new things. I love to, what really brings joy is, I'm thinking of the vision that comes to mind is kayaking on a lake.
Okay.
And it was actually that friend that day who, she was listening to me, right? And I took her out. She hadn't been out. I loaded up the truck. Like, the whole thing was an experience. Getting all the gear out and loading them up and strapping them on and, getting out there and unloading it all. Like, every bit of it was an experience. It wasn't just about when we're on the water. That was sort of like a continuation or whatever. And she had a sore shoulder at the time, and she felt like she was slowing me down, so it's like, no, it's like this whole experience is just delightful, just how it is. So that really, and then on the way home, she said, yeah, you're all about the experience. So I've really been noticing that, how much, and looking back at things that I've done in the past, little things like, I was kind of pondering this morning, and this is one of the things that came up, because it's like, even the everyday things that we do all the time, that we can just do something a little bit different. When my husband and I, when we were, dating, I remember one night I said, let's sleep upside down in bed. But, let's go. And it was just like, what, and it just added a little fun. It was just silly. Right. So it's like Christmas time, giving the adults, I remember last year in the Stockings, I gave everyone a little wind up truck or a little wind up vehicle so we could have races on the table. So it's just like, I don't even know where these things come from, but it's just like, wow. So I've just really, now I will look for, we were just had a little discussion about website. I'm working on my website copy. And it's like, okay, I've asked myself, and I keep slipping off, but ask, how can this be more fun? Because it's all about, how can I make this thing, this everyday thing, or this, big project thing, how could it be more fun? I guess when I think about joy, I kind of think about fun. Right. When I hear joy, it's like, joy is not I don't usually say that I'm joyful. It's not a word I use, but I think about what's exciting and what is fun. It always involves fun. So yeah.
It's interesting, and I appreciate you mentioning that joy as a word for you doesn't resonate as fully as fun does. And you know, I mean, to me, I mean, I know there's probably a dictionary definition, but there's a synergy there. There's a, you know, so whatever word works.
Yeah.
And you said that one of the things that you talked a lot about the experience, and that the fun or the joy is in the totality of an experience, which I think is super cool. And you know, not that you need my agreement, but I'm with you there. And then you said a question that you asked yourself was, how can this be more fun? I'm curious to hear a little bit more around what you mean by that. Like, tell me more, fill that out a little bit. How can this be more fun? Like asking yourself that question.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm getting to know myself more and more all the time.
Right.
And I know that when something feels really hard and heavy and I'm dreading it, it's because I'm thinking that it needs to be a certain way, it needs to look a certain way. And I'm learning that all of that is not of me. All of that is because I've listened to someone else tell me how it should be. I've listened to people who I respect and admire, you know, marketing gurus and other people in my life. I'm kind of looking at it. It's like, yes, there's a website and there's also parenting and there's, I've listened to all these people who are, and I think they got it. They have it figured out. So I should listen to them. And this is what they say. And then the next person who I also kind of get, and that makes sense. And all of a sudden there's all of this layering, and the project or the parenting or the idea of how to do it. It just, oh my gosh, it just squishes the joy out of it. It squishes out the fun. It's like you know, it's just so heavy. So when I don't always catch it. I don't always catch it. I can spin around in, you know, a heaviness for like a few days, but it's quicker and quicker. I'm coming out of it quicker, and there's longer space in between where it is more fun and there is more delight. Delight is kind of a word I resonate with. So when I catch it, and I can ask that, okay, how could this be more fun? Because I know that there is something in there. Like I can do a website and it doesn't have to be hard and, you know, gross, because really it's felt gross. It's so heavy. It's like, how can it be fun? And that's when I'll get a little spurt, and all of a sudden things start falling out of my fingers as I'm typing. And then I can forget. Like I just mentioned you just before the call, it's like, oh, website needs to be a one-day job. Because tomorrow I'm gonna see something new, and it's like, oh, I have a different perspective on that, and I'm gonna want to go and change it all. So it's like, why does that keep changing? Well, it's like, okay, what is the essence of it? Like, really, what is the essence of it? Like, really, I'm saying this, I'm not always very good at it at all, but I know that
I appreciate the honesty.
Just get back to the essence of it. That is going to carry through, and it won't matter the words that I use, it's going to come through. So when I think about that in parenting, and it's a really big classroom, you know, and there too, I'm aware that we all are coming from the same source of energy. We all have that. But it's just like, oh, but I really think you need to do it this way so that you can avoid the pain that I had in my past. It's so crazy how we pull all this stuff in and it's like, okay, what's really important here? What's the essence? Are they happy? Yeah, okay. Are they healthy? Like, it's like just coming down to that, because in the end, how they get about, navigate, that's part of the experience.
Right.
That, like, yeah, their joy or delight or whatever can come in having an experience that is so freaking painful. And then they bump into someone else, something else, a different way of looking at it that is like, oh, this. Well, they wouldn't have had that if they wouldn't have had that, you know? So
Right.
there's all this play, I guess.
I really appreciate that. So what I'm hearing in the way that you've described this is that, and when you were talking about it, the joy getting squished out of it, my I don't know why, but my first imagery was like a peanut butter sandwich or like a peanut butter jam sandwich, and you squish it and all the good stuff goes out. Anyway, I like what you said about, and just to sort of paraphrase, but what you were saying about, around the question of how can this be more fun, is coming back to the essence of it. I think that really captured a lot of, or I'll just say that really resonated with me. When you lose the fun, reminding oneself, or even allowing the essence of what we're doing or what one is doing to come back to surface again, seems like a good shortcut. And I'm putting words in your mouth here now, but it's like almost a shortcut back to enjoying the experience, right? Like, what's the essence?
Right.
I don't know. What do you think about it?
It's kind of foundational. When you said that, then I kind of saw that it's kind of foundational.
Right.
It's like, what's at the bottom of this?
Right.
What is the most important thing? What is the base?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's going to come from that?
Yeah.
Because that's where it's like anything, the possibilities of creating an experience for yourself, or just not even creating, just sort of the sense of just, settle back and just allow it. I was out with my little twin 5-year-old nephews, twins, and just sitting back, because I didn't, grandma was looking after most, so I could just sit back and just like hearing the words that came out of their mouths, seeing what they would look at and what they saw in that. So it was just like, it's like that can be, I don't have to have little children around to show me the delight that's available. It's like right here, even in this office, I can look around and there are things that my eyes can light on. And they spark things, right? So if you can get to a place of just being more open, and how do you get there? It's just, I'm like, this is just all coming to me in the moment. I don't know, but it just feels like an openness, really, like just.
Well, let me
getting quieter, something.
Let me pause you there, just because I think this is going to set us up nicely for our second question.
Okay, great. Yes, perfect.
Which is, what advice would you give to someone? I know that advice is a dirty word. I get that, but what would you offer to someone who is looking to live a more joyful or joyous or a more fun or happy life?
It's, words are kind of escaping me, but it's like just getting quieter. Stop looking so hard for it, kind of like, really, it's just sort of settle back. And if it feels like, but where is it? Where's my joy? It's like, well, that to me is like an indicator that you're taking someone else's, somewhere along the way you heard what joy is. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
What joy is, what what could be fun, what is exciting. And really, it's all in front. It's not, I think we've been conditioned maybe to think that joy, that you need big things, that it has to be like special and spectacular and whatever. But
Yeah.
that is, I found that that's really missing it. It's really just settling down and just looking right where you are. What is the joy? What is delight? What is cool? What is, it's everywhere when you start to see it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like really about, if you feel like you're not seeing it, then it's probably because you're trying to look through someone else's lenses at what that is. So just look through your own inner lens.
Oh, there you go.
I see what really sparks. Yeah.
I like that. Look through your own inner lens, and if you're not seeing, so what I'm hearing in my own, the story that I'm telling myself about what you're saying is that when you're judging the experience, when you're judging your own experience based around other parameters rather than just looking through your lens, you're looking from your soul or your heart or whatever you want to say, but that when you're not seeing it, it's because your lens has become cloudy, or there's something in the way of your lens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat. I hate to do this because I could always keep these conversations going forever and ever and ever and ever. But I have another one coming up shortly. So a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Any thought, anything that you can, back in the old days, we used to talk about putting things in a nutshell. So in 90 seconds or less, is there anything else you can put into the nutshell of what joyful living a fun life means to you, or advice that you would offer? What fits in that nutshell?
Yeah. This is something that I have a sticky of it on my mirror in my bathroom, actually. Someone told it to me a few weeks ago, and it's actually changed what it means to me over time. And it's stop running.
Oh, wow.
And first I thought it was stop running from thing to thing to thing to thing. And then after about 4 or 5 days of having it on my mirror, I realized it's like, oh my gosh, stop running from me.
Wow.
Stop running from who I really am.
Stop running from who you really are. I feel like this deserves a part 2. I mean, and I could tell how, like it almost, as you were saying that, and the distinction, not running from thing to thing, but to not run from who you are. It almost felt visceral as you were expressing that. It sounded like that was deep and meaningful for you.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Stop running from who you are. I like that.
It's really about living your life without anyone else's filters in place. It's like wide open spaces.
Right.
It's really, that's what it means to me. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, what just popped in is that in that wide open space is the opportunity to appreciate the little things in your office, which is hardly a wide open space, but the perspective of looking at the world from a wide open space is very cool. I like that.
Yes. Good. I just got shivers.
Thank
there
you for
too.
that.
I saw something there too.
Michaela, I'm going to have to cut us off here. I appreciate this very, very much. And let me just pause.